All right. Well, good evening, everyone. So, as you just learned, I'm Travis Nygaard, and today I'm very pleased to be introducing the scholar Erika Doss. She is an art historian by training, but actually so much more. She's really kind of a cultural historian, and she's in the field of American studies today. So I cannot summarize all of her great ideas and contributions to you right now, but one thing I can tell you is that her writing is always endlessly fascinating and a pleasure to read, so I think you should seek some of it out. So I'm an art historian myself, and I thus initially encountered Erika's ideas through her published writing. And then more recently, I'm happy to say that she's been encouraging my own scholarship. In my discipline, she became well-known initially for work on the 1930s, especially the work of Thomas Hart Benton, but more broadly, thinking about how it was connected with things like the expressionism of the 1950s, which people were often thinking could not have been more different. That involved the dripping and splattering and so forth of paint by Jackson Pollock, in contrast to the images of rural farms by someone like Thomas Hart Benton. But in fact, Benton was Pollock's teacher, and he likely encouraged Pollock to be bold, experiment with technique, and perhaps even fostered some of his notoriously surly personality. That all said, Erika's interests extend beyond the fine arts. On a superficial level, we all think that we understand things like popular music and Hollywood, but in her hands, they become much more interesting. Elvis, for example, is not just someone that wrote fun pop songs, but actually someone that can be used to think about the nuances of sexuality and race and nationhood in America. And then bringing the few minutes I have here to talk with you today back to the purpose of the award, I'd like to point out that the Distinguished Alumni Citation is meant to be given to someone who embodies the ideals of a Ripon College education. Now, one of the simplest ways that you can describe a liberal arts education is that it encourages someone to kind of be comfortable skipping from one discipline to another and know a little bit about a lot of different things. So I'd like to believe that perhaps Ripon College provided a foundation for her that nudged her in directions like in more recent years when she has combined a little bit of politics, a little bit of psychology, a little bit of history with a whole lot of her acumen to describe things like American public memorials that are grand in nature, as well as the more personal ways that things are memorialized, such as leaving photographs or teddy bears or flowers at the site of a public tragedy. So with that, congratulations, Erika, on your Distinguished Alumni Citation, and thanks for all of your work.
People who cannot possibly talk in public without reading something. I want to thank the members of the Ripon College family who nominated me for this award. And those include Anita Wallace, Melanie Sivan, Lisa Wolin, all of whom were my college classmates, and Ripon faculty, Evelyn Kane, for example, and Jean Kane, unfortunately can't be with us this evening, and Diane Mockridge. As a faculty member myself, I teach at the University of Notre Dame. I want to thank the professors at Ripon who encouraged, inspired, and just basically put up with me in their classes. And those folks included people who aren't here with us this evening, but who I remember very fondly: Irv Breithaupt, Bill Brody, Bob Cole, Dave Britton, Rosemary Sharp, Paul Axelrod, Bill Shang, and Bill Woolley, whose 8 a.m. Russian Revolution class set a mark to which all teachers should aspire. I mean, I can't get my students to come to 9:30 and 11 o'clock classes. Most of all, Ripon College encouraged my curiosity, my love of research, and my quest for meaning. Now, sex and drugs and rock and roll were certainly part of this equation. This was the 70s, after all. But I am deeply thankful for the freedom and the autonomy and lifelong friendships and partners that Ripon gave me. So here's to the liberal arts. Thank you.
Distinguished Alumni Citation recipient Jean Kirkpatrick, leader